Hey, this is Lorena, and I wanted just to sit down and chat with you guys and kind of share some of the stuff that's been going on, I guess. I do have a tutorial coming up soon, but I just thought I would like to incorporate some of these sit-down chat videos. I've made this video a couple times, and, you know, distractions, dogs, children, weird people coming up to my door, stuff like that. This has been one of those. But in truth, I wanted to share with you something that I've been kind of thinking about sharing. Usually every month I like declaring a word over my life. Like one of them was overcomer, and I sit down and I embroider it and I quilt it and I do a quilting tutorial for you guys, and I got to share what's going on in the sense of why I like the word. I also did another one, was triumphant. Quilted it so beautifully, honestly. I quilted it so beautifully. Okay, in my mind, I quilted it so beautifully. And then I misspelled it. It was triumphant. This week, or this month, or it's April, which we're not in April anymore, but April's word was victorious. So, yeah, the word was victorious. And I'll show you what victorious banner looks like without being quilted. I still need to quilt it, okay? I still need to quilt it. Just like that. Victorious. And one of the reasons I do banners, I know you're probably like, well, why does she do this stuff? In the Bible, it says that you rise up, lift up a banner, and you fly it over yourself, and it's a declaration of kind of where you're at. You raise up a banner. It's biblical, okay? So that's why I do it. But I also like declaring certain words over my life and meditating. And I also, because I'm a Christian, I get scriptures that are connected to that word, and I meditate on those words. So it also gives me kind of some study time. I look up the word victorious in the Old Testament, which the Old Testament was considered written in Hebrew, and the Hebrew definition varies from the New definition in the New Testament. So I also look up the word victorious, or whatever the word, in the New Testament, which the New Testament was written in Greek. So I look up the definitions, and they're kind of like, they change a little bit and give you a little bit more of an insight, and they kind of just give you different angles to look at a word. And so I like looking at words, okay? So that's what I'm a word person. For example, did you know, okay, for you people who aren't in the Bible, I'm sorry, okay? Don't mean to offend you in any way, but the word idol in the Bible, for me, the word idol is like sitting in one place, right? I looked up the word in the New Testament, and the word idle in the Greek means unemployed. And it says that for every idle word, we're going to be judged, right? And I always didn't understand, whatever, idle word. Well, to me, idle words is just chattery words that don't mean anything. But I like the way, when I looked up the definition, the word meant unemployed. So every word you speak that you don't employ, it kind of just gave me a way to look at the word differently, okay? So that's why I do this. So I'm just sharing a little bit insight of why I do some things. So I sat down and I looked up the word victorious, and I've been meditating it, and that was supposed to be a word for April. And April was a very difficult month for me. April was a very controversial month for me. It was a very hard month for me. And sometimes throughout the years, I have a month that is really hard. Just I'm holding on to the tree and saying, don't let go, don't let go. That's how hard some months are for me. I don't have many of them, but throughout the year, every year, there is a certain month, depends on what month it is, where it's a hard month. Those months used to be in October, but now it's not an October no month. It seems to be more like springtime, where the month is a little bit more difficult. But so April was a pretty, could say difficult month. A very, very, very hard month. And the word was victorious. The word was victorious. And so I was kind of like wrestling with myself, like, the word's victorious, and I don't feel victorious. I don't feel like Rocky. Okay, you know why I love Rocky? I love that movie. Man, because the dude was victorious. the dude was awesome. The dude was victorious. That's why there's Rocky 1, Rocky 2, the Russian Rocky. There's Apollo Rocky. I mean, there's like some awesome Rocky movies. I know you young ones don't know. Go check out the Rocky movies. So, sometimes I hear, that old man, get up, Rocky, get up. I love those movies. I just love them. Because I think sometimes God is like, get up, la-la-la. Get up! And I'm like, I can't no more. It's too hard. I can't. Okay, yes. I'm a little bit overbearing and theatrical. And I may be a little bit annoying, but, sorry. It's just me. And sometimes I'm like, I can't, God, I can't do this. Come on. I'm not the only one here. Maybe you're not crying to God, but you're crying to your husband, or you're crying to your sister, or you're crying to your mom about how hard your month is. So anyway, I've had a pretty hard month. But, so I kind of like went into prayer and I meditated in my heart, like, I'm supposed to be victorious this month. It's victorious. And then I got this real weird revelation. Do you know that when Rocky is like, Adrian, you right? He had like a bruised eye, big fat lip. He was beat up. And, but even through the beat ups, he won. Even though there was some countdowns that he didn't win. There was times where like he barely made it, barely got up. Barely made it to the corner. And ding ding, the ding ding saved him. The bell saved him. And so anyway, I was kind of complaining in my heart about how difficult April was, and how this has been a mess, and how everything's just not going the way I wanted to, and I'm just and I'm like, the word is victorious, and look how victorious is it. It's not even quilted victorious, okay? It's not even quilted victorious. And then I'm like, God, it's just been okay. So I heard this in my heart, and so I wanted to share it. That's how we're going to have these little kind of conversations. You can just hit exit if you want. But, the thing that got me, I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, he says, how can you be victorious if you don't suffer a problem? And the word victory means to have success over adversity, to have success over tribulation, to overcome something. It's kind of neat how I like the word overcomer and triumphant and victorious, because they are kind of intertwined together. They're just defined a little bit different. So I can't be victorious if I don't have something to have a victory over. That's kind of like I have to have something that I have to have the victory over. To be victorious is not when everything is easy. To be victorious is not when everything is going smooth. To have the victory is not when all your health is in line, or when you have all the money in the world. That's how we decide that victory is. That is a fraud. I'm coming to find out, because I had this word like a banner over my chest. It's kind of like a fraud. Rocky didn't win the beatdowns every time. What we love about Rocky is that after a beatdown, he got back up. He got back up. I think that's why I love Jesus. I love the story about him. That after it looked like the enemy, Satan, killed him, destroyed him on the cross, Jesus came back. Nothing can kill the dude. I think that's what a victory is. It's maybe when you get news, I know some of you share, and I don't want to cry, some of you share that you're struggling and you have health problems, or, oh, you guys are so sweet to me. And that, that you found out you had cancer, and some of you share that you're hurting. Maybe you're in a bad marriage. I know. Those things. All of us are suffering something sometimes. Whether we know it or not, in that is where we see the victory, that we're victorious. You know, I had a brother, his name was Victor, and it fitting. His name was Victor. We used to call him Tony. And he got hit by a motorcycle at 4 years old. And he ended up having a lot of surgeries. This is when I was in the womb of my mother. When my mom was pregnant with me, my mom had to deal with a lot of problems. And Tony ended up being in a wheelchair bound, mentally retarded. He didn't get enough oxygen in his brain. And he ended up being taken care of by the state. We used to go visit him, and I used to go visit him, and me and my mom, I remember as a little girl holding her hand and walking into this white room, and we would go see him. And I remember that every single time I would go see him, there's not a time that I didn't go see him, that young man, my brother Tony, would not smile. Every time he smiled, and I would go in there, and it's something to behold. It's strange. It's beautiful, though, at the same time now that I see it, at the time I was young. And he would always smile, and he would be slobbering on his face. He couldn't really even move his arms, and he sat in a wheelchair, and someone fed him. And every time he went, he would smile. His name is so fitting. Victor. One who has the victory. That's the meaning of that name. And, you know, he didn't look victorious because he was in a vegetated state. We would call him retarded. That was the word. But he wasn't. But he always smiled. Every single time we went to see him, he would smile. As I got older, I started appreciating him in such a wonderful way. That no matter what, he would smile. And so sometimes, like, when I'm going through something, I'm like, you can get up and wipe your own butt. You can get up and go feed yourself. What are you complaining about? You have so much more than your brother had. And he went through it. He went through it on his own. He suffered his own physical ailments on his own. And he chose to smile for us. He was the one suffering. He was the one struggling. He was the one dealing with the battle, the beatings, the beatdowns of the world, of the enemy. And he chose to smile anyway. And I can imagine the enemy looking at him and hating him, like, oh, I took your voice and you're still smiling. I took your feet and you're still smiling. Can you imagine? And so I think of him. He's not here no more. He died probably in 2008, I believe. He gives me so much joy. He's such an example to me of victory. His suffering and his victorious internal power of smiling despite the suffering is such a wonderful lesson for me. That the problem didn't get him down. The problem didn't destroy him. The problem didn't make him bitter. The problem didn't make him angry. The problem didn't really destroy him. Maybe it hindered his body and limited him and held him back some, but Victor, my brother Tony, nothing could hold him back. Not even his own body. Nothing could hold him back from smiling, from delighting in living, from being a survivor. So April was kind of difficult for me. And I know maybe this year's a difficult year for you. I don't know. Maybe this month has been a difficult month for you. Delight in it. Take a deep breath and say, I'm victorious. Because I'm still here. I'm still making it. I'm still alive. Nothing, even this hasn't held me down. Even this hasn't kept me back. Even this has not kept me from rejoicing. Even this has not kept me from loving. Even this has not kept me from stopping and just giving up. Even this. Whatever your this is, just say you're victorious. And so my month was difficult, and I remember just sitting there in the spin of my problems and going, I can't believe this is just happening to me. And people are like, how are you smiling? How are you okay? And I just have to thank the Lord for honoring me with a beatdown, for honoring me with the struggle, for honoring me with something that's going to push me further, for honoring me that I have to dig deep inside myself, dig in a place that I would have never dug, to grab something I would have never seen in myself. And it's an honor to be challenged that way. We look at Rocky, he had like the Russian Mr. T, remember him? I mean, this guy had people who were against him, like hard adversaries, hard people to conquer. And he got up. Despite it, he got up. Despite it, he rose again. Despite it, he moved forward. Even if I don't feel victorious, I'm going to hold my banner high. I am victorious. Even if some of you can't pay your bills, you're victorious. Maybe some of you are hurting in your body. You're victorious. Maybe some of you can't even get out of your bed. You're victorious. I wanted to share with you, raise up your banner of who you decide you will be. That's why I like Rocky in the end of it, where he's yelling for his wife, Adrian! And he has the plaque in his arms, Adrian! It wasn't that he won the battle easily, it's that he got up even when he was losing the battle. It's that he got up anyway, not knowing if he won or not knowing if he was going to do it or not. It's that he got up anyway. I think the greatest victories that we have, it's when we play the game, even when you lose. It's when we smile, even when we should fall apart. It's when we rise, when we should just give in. That's where you really have the victory. It's when you stop and look inside yourself and grab something within yourself that you didn't even know you had. Rocky was fit and toned and gorgeous. He looks weird now, but he was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Trained. Ready for the battle. But when you're being hit in life, you get some weird side swipes you didn't expect, and you have to decide to take the blow and just get up anyway. Maybe, you have a new blow. You found out you have cancer. Some of you are so sweet. And I just wanted to share with you that you're victorious to me. That even though you're hurting and you're suffering and maybe you're afraid because you don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow, that you're commenting to me to encourage me, or you're sewing to bless somebody with the quilt, or you're supporting somebody. I don't know, whatever you do. I just felt that this was befitting to share, have a little chat with you I think I had the misunderstanding of what being victorious was. To be victorious, I thought came easy. I am learning to have a victorious life. It's like Rocky with, purple one-shot eye. All beat up, sore, muscles bruised. But he still won. He still won. And so, I wanted to share this with you. I don't know if you guys will like it. Just know that those of you that have messaged me, you're in my heart. Those of you who have commented and just told me thank you, that I appreciate you. I just want you to know that to me, this channel is much more than just quilting. It's wanting to share with you aspects and conversations of my heart with you. By my brother Tony. I want to honor his life. He was so victorious to me. He was beautiful. I love him so much. And I miss him dearly. And he's such an example to me and my family of what being victorious really is. You may not look victorious, but you are. You may kind of look even messy. To some people, you may be gross, frail, whatever it is, limited or hindered, but you're victorious because of how you handle your adversity and how you're still getting up despite it. And so I hope this is not too serious. I hope you're encouraged. I just want to tell you that I love you in the Lord. And I hope these little conversations just encourage you to raise up your banner and say, I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. I'm victorious. I don't care what it feels like. I don't care. I don't care what the doctors say. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I am victorious. I have that over my head. I have it deep in my heart. I'm victorious. I got a couple beatdowns. A couple of them. Pretty bad ones. Yeah, I didn't think I'd make it through that beatdown, but I'm victorious. So, I love you, okay? Bye.